I'm very overwhelmed. I'm going to start this video by saying how very touched and overwhelmed I am to be in the presence of a very great lady that I've met. I've known her for a couple of years, and the things she's done, things she's been able to achieve, is just beyond words. I'm going to leave the introduction to her for her to tell you exactly what her name is, where she came from, how she got to where she is, and how we ended up in the place where we are right now doing this interview. So, Francis.
Okay, so usually I introduce myself into two groups of people as my name is Francis and I'm an addict. It's one of the most awe-inspiring experiences that I'm in at the moment, because I am in a place of absolute beauty that leads itself to healing. And when I needed it, when I was on the streets and I was using drugs every single day of my life, escaping I don't even know what, I never had the idea that this is possible.
Yeah.
I could never see, and I remember the exact moment that I made the decision that I made peace with the fact that I was going to die on the streets. And that hopeless place, that place of absolute desperation of this is it, this is my life now, and I'm going to die before the end of the year. If the drugs don't kill me, then the lifestyle is going to kill me.
Yeah. But why do you say that you're an addict? Because I know that you're not. I mean, you're not doing drugs for a very long time now.
Yes, I am not an active addict, but I am an addict in recovery. And one of the things I had to realize, I did as many substances as I could lay my hands on for 16 years. And it led me to...
16 years?
Yeah.
How did it start, actually?
So, I'd like to blame the doctors, but I can't.
Yeah.
So, when I was very young, I had a back injury, and I was given pethidine in hospital.
Oh.
And I loved it more than I think other people love it. It's like when I had that first injection, the physical condition, the physical allergy, as we call it, or the genetic predisposition to misuse substances just kicked in immediately, because I loved it more than life itself.
What drove you to the hospital? You from the back pain?
I had back pain following an injury, and for the longest time I blamed the doctors for my addiction.
Because they will keep you on.
Because they gave me my drug of choice, but I had to realize that they also gave that to other people.
Yeah.
And other people didn't have the reaction to it that I had. So that just kicked off a very lonely place of I need to use the substance to be okay. It was never about, and people often have this misconception that it's about partying and having a good time. It's not. It's about, I need that substance to get to zero, to get to where you are when you wake up in the morning.
Yeah. Tell me about your recovery. What happened?
So recovery, I'm a bit dramatic, a tad. And when I had a moment where I was on the streets and, everything of mine had been stolen, and I just had a little bit of hope where I could, my boss said I could come back to my job if I found a place to stay, and I cleaned up a little bit. And I reached out to my mother, and after 16 years, I'd used her up, and she was not interested in getting me a place to stay. And in the middle of the road, 4 o'clock on a Thursday afternoon, I fell on my knees in the middle of the road, and I looked up at the heavens, and I just screamed at God, and I said, you either kill me or you make me better, because I cannot live like this anymore.
This has been very deep.
It was. I mean, everybody who drove past thought I was nuts.
Yeah.
And I was. I was so desperate, and I was so afraid. And I literally could not stand another day of living in the mind that I was in.
So you got married, you had kids, still drugs?
Yes. No, I have 3 children. I have 3 boys. With the same. We never got married, but he was my partner for 14 years, and the chaos and the destruction of 2 people on drugs, on their children, on society, on their families, it's absolutely amazing. It is the things that we thought were permissible, and that we thought were okay. If I look back at it now, I'm horrified.
Wow. I'm just a bit overwhelmed. Since I know you, I'm just inspired. I'm very honest. If you didn't actually tell me about the drugs and everything, I just don't know how does one actually get to that point of recovery?
Desperation. It is the one thing as a counselor as well that I always listen for is the words, I can't do this anymore. Because that's the point where you
You
realize
need to get
that
to that point.
That's it.
And
Without that
yeah,
recovery,
I agree.
Yeah. Without that
Life
recovery, it's
teaches
not
you when
possible. I can't do this. I can't do this on my own. I cannot handle another day of feeling the way I feel.
Wow. So, what is your message to drug addicts recovering? Is there hope? What when they feel hopeless, when they lose it all, like where do they go? You know, and the drugs actually affects not only them but their family, the people around them. You know, some of them they've gone through great lengths to be able to get their hands on drugs. They've killed, they've threatened their own mothers, fathers, uncles, whoever, you know, to be able to get the money and everything, and then they live back in the house. I remember there was a story of a lady that actually shot her own son in Cape Town because she'd had it, you know. And I wonder, you know, if a mother is able to do that, like, you know, that is a very serious thing. I want you to reach out to people out there and give them, you know, because you are a living testimony, you know, and you know, it's not only you live the life of hope. And in this place where we are, I'm just amazed at what you have done to get to this point. You know, it's so beautiful. It's a resort that is going to become now a rehab center. I've been through the rooms, I've been through the places. You've projected so much life and hope and healing into the place, and I don't know. I'm really overwhelmed. I want you to tell them out there, you know, to reach out to those people out there needing the message of hope, needing the message to know that it is possible, you know, because if you don't walk the line, if you don't, then how do you actually help someone, you know?
Yeah, so it's amazing that when psychiatrists and psychologists, though they are very valuable in the treatment of addiction, where they often fail is they don't have that connection to other addicts. And where we are fortunate is I can speak to another addict and I can have that immediate connection. And I connect to how you feel, how you use, I connect to the pain, to the desperation, because I was there. I experienced it myself. And I think the number one thing for me, the number one message to get out is that there's always hope. I remember feeling completely hopeless. And that is the darkest place that you can be in. And just that acceptance of it's never going to get better. And if I didn't take the chance, at the time I didn't know I was coming into recovery. I thought I was going into a rehab for 6 weeks. They'd feed me 3 times a day. And I would go out and learn how to use like a gentleman. I found a new way of life, and it's completely changed everything. My children are part of my life again. My mother's speaking to me. I phone her and I don't ask for money. Which is which is amazing in itself. But the thing that recovery, it's not about everything that it's brought back. It's not about the car and the house and the nice treatment center. It is about the fact that I can go to bed at night and I can go to sleep. And I wake up and nobody's chasing me.
Gratitude.
Nothing is chasing me. I'm calm. I'm happy with myself. I'm no longer chasing. I don't feel like I'm 5 minutes away from achieving something. It is, I'm here and I'm content with what I have and with what I do. So we often go into the places where I used to frequent, and one of the saddest things is that there are girls in there that were in there when I was there, and they don't have hope. They don't have. So we go in without any expectation whatsoever, and we just go, if I could get out here, you can.
Wow.
I can show you the way.
Yes.
And if you don't want to do that today, that's fine. But I'll be back next week. And through consistently just going back to them, we have gotten 2 of them in treatment. And they've started their journey to recovery, where it was just like, this is someone who's used with me. This is someone who's been where I've been, and they've slept where I've slept, and they've done the things I've done. So it's just also, as society, we need to get away from, because I think a lot of addicts stay sick because of the idea that addicts are bad people trying to get better. Instead of, they are sick people. We are sick people trying to get well. And as long as I keep the maintenance on my recovery, I am okay.
So how many years clean are you now?
I'm 4 years and 2 months.
I'm so happy to hear that. This is amazing. This is very. Is there any other thing you want to add? You want to touch on?
So it just as and it's this is my I have a pet peeve in the way we treat addicts.
Yeah.
And the way that addiction as a disease, substance use disorder is treated as a disease, because we've had some amazing breakthroughs in addiction science. And if we'd had that in any other field, if it was cancer research or HIV research, everybody would be celebrating.
Yeah.
But
yeah. When it comes
the
to
strides that's made in this
Yeah.
disorder and this disease, it's just not celebrated.
Yeah.
And the narrative and the way it's portrayed in the media as sick people or bad people trying to get better, not sick people trying to get well, that's going to kill a generation of addicts. We are going to lose a generation of addicts because of the language we use when we talk about addiction.
Exactly.
And
Words
addicts.
are powerful. Words are
Yeah.
powerful. And you also showed me the pictures of your before and after, and there are a couple of others as well. And I'm so very humbled. I'm very touched, and I know that there is hope for people out there. Francis, I just really want to say thank you so much for what you're doing. I'm praying and hoping that this video touches the lives of many people out there. Come on board, come and support, come and help. Assist where you can, because we cannot do this alone. We need everyone out there. We need the voices of mothers, of fathers, of uncles who have experienced it, who know of somebody who has experienced it. You know, let our message touch the life of you, and let's hope to hear from you. Thank you so much, and God bless you.